Hello students, welcome back to physics class. Hope you all are keeping fine. Did you all go through the video? We were doing the chapter 2, force, energy and work. In the previous video we have seen what is a force, effect of force and types of force, and we have seen the effects of friction, how to reduce and how to increase the friction, right? So in today's class, let's see measuring of forces. Okay, measuring forces. So you know that force is a push or pull of an object. Okay, so what is the SI unit of force? It is Newton. Okay, you can write it capital N. In many situations there is more than one force that acts on a body. For example, in the tug of war or when you are pushing the cupboard. Okay, it may be in the same direction or in the opposite direction. There will be more than one force acting on the body. In that case, the total force applied on a body is called the resultant force. What it is called? It is called the resultant force. What is the resultant force? The total force applied on a body is called the resultant force. Okay. If two equal forces act in exactly opposite direction on a body, then the body does not move. Okay, for example, you can take your applying force of 50 Newton. Okay, what is the SI unit of force? It is Newton. So you are applying 50 Newton force and your friend also is applying 50 Newton force on a door. So do you think the door will move? No, right? So the equal forces cancel each other as they are exactly in opposite direction. Okay, so the resultant force is 0. Okay, let us take one more example and understand the resultant force. Okay, so you all play the tug of war, right? If both the teams are applying equal forces on opposite direction, for example 300 Newton this side and the 300 Newton the other side, so nobody will move, right? Because the resultant force is 0. Okay, so if one member of a team slips or loses grip, then the other team will be pulling with a greater force. Okay, so for example 300 Newton this side and 400 Newton this side, who will be moving? The team with the 400 Newton will be pulling this side, right? Okay, so let's see how to find out the resultant force. Now you know, if equal forces are acting in the opposite direction, there will not be any movement. That means the resultant force will be 0. So let us find out how to find out this resultant force. Okay, so when forces are working along the same line and in the same direction, then the resultant force is obtained by adding the individual forces together. So here in this picture you can see two boys are pushing the boat inside the sea or a river. Okay, so they are applying the force in the same direction. Then how will you find out the resultant force? Okay, by adding them. So the first boy is applying the force of 70 Newton and second boy is applying the force of 90 Newton. The resultant force will be 70 Newton plus 90 Newton, that is equals to 160 Newton. Okay, so when the force is acting in the same direction, then the resultant force can be obtained by adding the individual forces together. So if you have two forces, you have to add 2. If it is 5, okay, so if it is 5 forces, 5 people are pushing the boat, then you have to add all those forces and then you will get the resultant force if it is in the same direction. Okay, so when it is acting in the opposite direction, how will you find out the resultant force? By finding the difference between them. Okay, so here you can see they are applying the force in the opposite direction. So what will be the resultant force? 10 Newton minus 6 Newton. So what is the resultant force? It is 4 Newton. So understand, the resultant force is a total force applied on the body. So if it is in the same direction, the resultant force is obtained by adding the individual forces together. If it is in the opposite direction, you will find out the resultant force by finding the difference between the forces. Okay? And the resultant force acts in the direction of the greater force. So in which side will he move? Okay, the force which is greater, right? This side he will be moving. So the resultant force act in the direction of the greater force. Okay. Next we'll see the concept pressure. Okay. Pressure is a force acting per unit area. A body always exerts a force on any surface supporting it, right? The effect of this force on the surface depends on the area over which it is spread, and this is given by the pressure. Pressure can be defined as a force per unit area, that is force divided by area. This can also be written as P is equals to force F divided by area. So the unit of pressure is Pascal. Okay, PA you can write. If the area is smaller, the pressure is more on the surface for the same force. Let us take an example and understand this. So you can see here, why does the mattress sink more than when I am standing compared with when I am lying? So why does the mattress sink more when you are standing and not when you are lying, right? So what is the reason? So you exert same force, right? But the area is less here and area here which you cover is more, right? So it is, if the area is smaller, the pressure is more on the surface for the same force. You are exerting the same force on the mattress, but when you are lying, it will not sink more, but when you are standing, it is sinking, right? Because of the area. So pressure is more when the area is less. If the area, you increase the area, when you are lying down, you are occupying more area, right? So then the pressure is less. So what is the pressure? Pressure is a force acting per unit area, that is pressure is equals to force by area, and the unit of pressure is Pascal. And if you increase the area, the pressure will be less. If you decrease the area, the pressure will be more for the same force. Okay. So from this you can say pressure depends on force and area. Okay. What are the two factors that the pressure depends on? One is force and the other one is area. Okay. Pressure describes how a force is spread over an area. It is a measure of how much force is acting on a certain area. So in today's class we have seen measuring force and the SI unit of force and the resultant force, right? And then you have seen the pressure and the factors on which the pressure is depending, right? So your homework is to write the SI unit of force. And how will you find out the resultant force if the force is acting in the same direction and in different direction? And what is the pressure? What is the SI unit of pressure? Okay. So we'll meet you in the next class.